I don't even know where to start. Actually, I know exactly where to start, and it's going to be on a negative note, and that's kind of crappy. But it's been on my mind ever since it happened last night. It's been on my mind heavy. I can't stop thinking about it. So that's what we're going to start with, something a little bit negative. Well, I'll start by this, though, before we get to the negativity. I appreciate you if you're listening in right now. I appreciate you listening in the past. Appreciate you more than you know. What I would ask you to do, though, if you're watching on Spotify, just go rate the podcast. Rate it at a 5-star if you think. If it's not a 5-star, rate it as that. But then tell me why, right? It costs zero. On YouTube, watch on YouTube. It costs no money. Just subscribe. That way you know it when the next episode comes up. You got it. Takes no money. Takes about 30 seconds of time, maybe less if you're real quick fingered, But I appreciate you being here. Subscribe, rate, whatever, depending on what you're listening to. And then comment if you got certain things that come up and you want to, have things you want to talk about or ideas, whatever. Please let me know. I love the interaction. I'm going to read a lot of the comments. So that we can kind of get them out, and then you can comment on the comment, So I think it's great. I would love the interaction and keep that going. I think it's awesome. So we're going to get into the negativity. And kind of before I get into the negativity, I'll talk about, some adversity going through on these last couple of weekends. Guess what? There was some more this weekend. There was some more. Friday night, I was at allegedly the biggest rivalry in North Carolina, high school football. I was there. I was in attendance. I was Pisgah High School versus Tuscola High School, Haywood County high school football. And I was there in attendance, and the game started at 7:30. I was there at 5:45 to get a ticket. And so I'm joining a Pisgah family. So I'm on the Pisgah side. So on the away side, this is at Tuscola's home field. I'm on Pisgah's side, and I get there at 5:45. This is almost 2 hours before the game. There's almost no seats available on the away side. I can't go sit on the home side, on the Tuscola side. I'm on the away side. So, not many seats, but I found some seats. I had to save. I had sweatshirts sitting all around me to make sure I had seats for everybody else. So that was pretty neat. Pisgah ended up dominating the game. Now, I did see something that I'd forgotten about. All you high school cats out there and all you high school football lovers out there. I played high school ball in Alabama. I did some recruiting in Georgia. I did some in Tennessee and North Carolina and Mississippi. But I hadn't really seen this before, or I'd seen it before, but it's been a long time. Pisgah's up later in the game. Tuscola's got a pretty good little running back. He breaks free, hurdles the safety, hurdles him. Clean hurdle. There's somebody, they're close by and tackled him. I see a flag fly in, and I'm thinking, what could that be? And it hit me. High school, no hurdling. Can't hurdle. Can't hurdle in high school. And, so I talk about officials, and I don't, I think they can ruin stuff a lot, which they can. I think they can. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be just down on officials all the time, because not all of them make terrible calls often. But that was the right call. It just sucks that they made, sucks because it was solid. It was really nice. And then Pisgah gets the ball back there, kind of putting a nail in the coffin, and they've got it running back. They hand it to him 45 times. 45 times. And they can't tackle him. And I don't know how many yards he had. I have to go look, but 45 carries. And he broke a long touchdown run basically right after that. And it was kind of like a small hurdle. He didn't hurdle over somebody, but it was like somebody on the ground. I kind of jumped over, fans weren't very happy about that. So on the Tuscola side, but anyway, so Friday night, you had South Florida, North Texas. I picked North Texas, and North Texas turned the ball over about 100 times. And South Florida took advantage of every single one, scored 63. Rutgers, Washington, picked Washington. It was close in the beginning. Washington comes back and pulls away late. And then Fresno State, Colorado State, totally wrong. Colorado State got after Fresno State, 49-21. It was ugly early. It was ugly early. So I didn't really get to watch those a ton. I got to watch some as I was leaving the game. At the game, there's no service. I'm trying to pull up any scores, barely get anything. I get to pull up, South Florida, North Texas at the end of the game, at the high school game, and there's not a whole lot going on now. The Rutgers, Washington, Fresno State, Colorado State, got to watch some because they started later. But, Washington pulled away, Colorado State pulled away in a big way. Coach Chestnut. Anyway, on Saturday, Taylor and I drive out to Charlotte, about 2.5 hours east of us, somewhere in that range. We drive out to Charlotte. We're doing a little shopping. I'll give you more detail on that in the future. Doing a little shopping. So, I'm driving, so we got the game, Alabama game up. Started at 12, so I want to make sure I watch that one. That was a great game. We'll get into that in a second, but, watch Alabama. We had gotten to Charlotte by the time Alabama was maybe in the second-ish quarter, halftime. And so, I was kind of pulling up the phone. We'd go in the store and pull up the phone. We'd get back in the car. So just kind of back and forth. Had to charge the phone up a couple times during the day, make sure we had enough juice. And then we, drove back. So, there was some adversity. There really was some adversity 3 weekends in a row. But we got through it, watch it as much as possible. Then we got back. Auburn and Georgia had been playing for maybe an hour. So I'd watch some of it on the way. And this is where we're going to start. We're going to start with Auburn, Georgia. This game's in Auburn. Okay. Auburn's got some bad luck. I was talking to my buddy Caleb Smith during the game on Saturday. We're texting a little bit, and then he calls me after the situation we're about to talk about. And I told him, I said, you know what? I obviously grew up in Alabama, an Alabama fan. I heard things, probably in high school, college, where, refs just hate Auburn. Everybody hates Auburn. They get the worst luck, whatever. I'll just brush it off, whatever. I don't BS, And I think a lot of that still doesn't really come into play. Because a lot of it depends on how you're going to play consistently day in, day out. Week in, week out. I don't know if it was true back then. This year is true. This year's true. Okay. This year's true. Oklahoma. Auburn. Okay. The fumble. Okay. You can call it what you want. It was a freaking fumble. That would have been a, scoop and score. Incomplete. I had no idea. Then you have a guy who acts like he's run off the field and doesn't, stays on the field. They throw it to him. Touchdown. They come back and say, oh, we made the wrong call. Sorry. I think there were a couple pass interferences that they didn't call also. And it was a 7-point loss by Auburn. So there's that game. Okay. A few weeks ago. Now you get to Georgia. Auburn is dominating the first half. Dominating. It's 10-0. And Auburn is about to go score again. Just under 2 minutes left in the half. Make it 17-0. They're inside the 1 or on the 1 or something. They run the old QB sneak, the old tush push. Okay. Jackson Arnold got the ball in 2 hands. He's lunging across. And now this is awesome by the, I can't remember the guy's name at Georgia. Peanut punch. Boom. And he hits it. He gets around the ball. Knocks it out. a Georgia player sees it. He gets the ball. He's laying on top of people's legs when he's getting the ball and gets up and runs to the end zone. All right, so this is where it gets really out of hand. So, in my opinion, you've got two ways to go about it. You've got touchdown Auburn, or you've got to say fumble, scoop and score for Georgia. It's a touchdown one way or the other. Okay. You show the replay. All the ball has to, the tip of the ball has got to cross the white line, the front end of the white line. That's it. That's a touchdown. You've got about 13 different views, and only one is even close to showing it. Which, in one, I think shows it. All the other ones are not, they don't. You gotta piece them together to show it. But there's one that I think shows it. And I think, I don't know how much merit this has, I think Jackson Arnold, the tip of the ball, got to the end zone. I think it's a touchdown when they show the replay. I think it's a touchdown. They review it for I swear it's 30 minutes they're reviewing this thing. That's another issue with me, is the review. I'm getting a little pissed because officials are really make me angry. Okay? And if there's any officials on this, I'm sorry. But I get pissed. Review for 30 minutes. To me, there's no need. You either see it crosses or not. Okay. Touchdown or no. Maybe it takes an extra 30 seconds. That's fine. And either it's a touchdown Auburn or touchdown Georgia, because you see the guy running all the way back. He's not on the ground. They call it a fumble, but then just call him down where he recovered the ball. It's wrong just because he scored a touchdown. The cat from Georgia. Okay? Okay. So that's bad. In my opinion, it's bad. Touchdown Auburn, first of all. Now, you call it a touchdown, it takes a couple of these even out of the equation I'm about to talk about that happened right after. And you want to talk about, and I heard Greg McElroy say on the call, the way that game flipped after that play, I don't know how many games I've seen in my life that have flipped that drastically in one moment. Georgia's getting the ball in there, of course, driving down. There's some penalties. There's a roughing the passer call. Gunnar Stockton, kind of drops back, rolls out right, and it's kind of like a jump, and he kind of leaves his feet a little bit to throw it. And the Auburn guy, probably not super smart, but he leads with his shoulder and hits Gunnar Stockton in his left shoulder. Right? Shoulder to shoulder. Okay? And they call roughing the passer and targeting. And so you got to review it. And they go and review it. I think that was a pretty lengthy review for a targeting. They threw him out of the game. Targeting. Are you kidding me? So I mean, Georgia's down inside the 40 now. Auburn's 40. Golly. And then there was another one on the same drive where Gunnar Stockton, I think he's kind of scrambling right again. And he's going to throw it, and the guy grabs his shoulder pad as he's throwing it, and he throws it, and then he just finishes a tackle, and Stockton goes to the ground. They threw another flag on that. That one I understand a little bit more, because it kind of dragged out a little longer. I mean, I still don't love it, because it wasn't anything malicious, I don't think. But they threw the flag again. Okay? And then Georgia goes and kicks a field goal, I think. So instead of it being 17-0 at half, at the worst, it's 10-3. And I think Georgia got the ball in the second half. I don't remember. But those two things happened. Okay, now here's to me, now the fumble is a huge one. I think it's no fumble, whatever. Here is the one that is really, really bad. Okay? You've got Kirby Smart. He's one of the best coaches in the country. Probably in the top 2 or 3. Maybe the top. All right? He's running down there. Georgia's got the ball. Play clock's running down. Tick, tick, tick down. Gets down to about 1. He's running down. There's video of this. I don't know how to do this, but I need to start showing video of what happened. One day I'll figure it out, but I can't show it right now. He's running down. He's doing this right here. There's ESABC footage of this right here. They call the timeout. The ref does this number right here. You know what I'm talking about. And Kirby starts going ballistic, saying, I was clapping. He's doing this number. I was clapping. And he's looking at all the refs. I was clapping. Let me tell you what the ref freaking did. They didn't charge a timeout, restarted the play clock, and they got to play. Are you kidding me? You know what? I probably is good that I'm not, but I wish I could hear what the officials said to each other when they got together in their freaking little powwows. Oh yeah, he clapped. Are you freaking kidding me? He's doing this number right here. I think he probably even said the word timeout. I mean, it really makes me angry. It makes me angry how much control an official has of the game and how crappy they can be sometimes. Yeah. I'm not an Auburn fan. I'm not. It was wrong what they did. And I'm just waiting for the announcement. Oh, we made a bad call there. We should have charged a timeout. Well, no crap. This is a family-friendly show. I'm not going to say anything I'm not supposed to say. No crap. You gotta be freaking kidding me. I mean, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Hey, how about have the boldness to say, you called a timeout, Kirby. You called a timeout. I'm getting upset. I'm getting all wound up again. And here's one of the best parts. This is before the timeout shenanigan happened. Hugh Freeze going into halftime. Of course, the reporter comes right up to Hugh Freeze after this huge momentum swinging play drive happens. And Hugh Freeze, of course, the first thing he asks him, fumble on the goal line, what do you think about it? Hugh Freeze, you can see him loading up and he's ready to go. You can say he was about to say it's one of the worst calls I've ever seen. He gets as one of the worst, and he stops himself and he takes a deep breath. He says, our kids are playing really hard. I don't know what happened, but we got to keep playing hard. The score should be more than it is. We have more than we have. Handle it about as good as you can handle it. Okay. He did. I mean, he was ready to go off. I was ready to go off for him. But he didn't. And you know what? He's seen it 2 weeks now where, just completely against Auburn. I don't know. That's bad. Both of those games are bad as far as officials. And, man, if I were Hugh Freeze, and he's probably already done it, I'm calling the league. Hey, listen, what is going on here? If I'm Hugh Freeze and I said something to make officials angry, make the SEC angry, take it back, apologize, something. Because it's going bad. They're going against you for some reason. I hope it's not on purpose. I hope it's just ignorance. I hope it's just, I saw this, I saw that, he saw, she saw. I don't know, man. But that's just, I don't understand it. I think it's awful. So, now, Auburn also didn't score a point in the second half. Georgia buckled down. So, The question is, if Auburn scores 17 and then Georgia doesn't have the field goal at the end of the first half, and Auburn's got they're up 17-zip at half. In theory, in the second half, Georgia scored 17. Do they score at 17 and tie it, take it overtime? Does it change the outcome? I don't know. But it was a huge momentum swing. And what Auburn's got to be able to do, after all this crap, as a coach, as a player, you've got to come back and you've got to say, you can't worry about the things we can't control. You can't do it. Now, you can control a fumble. Jackson Arnold had both hands on the ball. I've been there. That's tough. You got two hands on the ball, and the ball gets punched out. That's tough. Okay? It's tough to say, hey, you got to do more. I say, what the heck else am I supposed to do? You got to do more. Don't fumble it. And sometimes it's just that simple. So Auburn's got to be able to come back in the second half and say, you know what? Yeah, that was garbage. We got to go win the game now. You're still in the lead at halftime. You got to go win the game now. Man, but that sucks. That sucks. The officiating in the game was not good, especially in that little part. And the timeout just perplexes me to no end. I have no clue. I mean, if I'm a coach, I'm just going to try it for the heck of it. Hey, timeout. They call timeout. No, I was clapping. You freaking kidding me? I would try it. You make a fool any freaking ref out there. I don't know. All right, I'm done. I'm done with that. Listen, one game I watched a lot of, Alabama, Missouri. Missouri is a really good football team. Bo Pribula is a great quarterback. Ahmad Hardy is a great running back. Okay. Who does Missouri have? The young defensive end? A great player. Okay. Missouri is really good. Alabama is better. And I know you say, well, duh, they score more points. Alabama has turned into a second-half team who can go and put games away in the second half. Yeah, it got close at the end, and Missouri had a chance. Alabama goes and picks the ball off to finish the game. Alabama is showing that they can be a true contender. Okay? They can be a true contender for the national championship. All right? I mean, Ty Simpson, 23 for 31, 200 yards passing. He is, and I've said it before, he is, from the week one to now, he is just a totally different cat. He's got so much confidence. That Joker is locked in. He's spot on with what he's doing. I mean, he is really doing a great job. Alabama's defense is doing a lot better. Not doing perfect, obviously, but they are doing much better. They're really stout. So I think Alabama's a dang contender. I mean, I think for the SEC right now, as far as who's winning, I think the favorites are Alabama and Texas A&M to get in there. Because Texas A&M is shown out and they're being dominant. Okay. So, that was a super fun game. Very competitive game. I mean, the first 2 or 3 drives, it was touchdown. I mean, they were just going back and forth, touchdown. Then both teams settled in. They start holding them. So, super fun game to watch. All right. Nebraska and Maryland. Maryland was leading a lot in the game. You got the old freshman quarterback, right? Okay. I mean, in the third quarter, let me see. Let me add this up correctly. You've got 31. Maryland's up by 7 in the third quarter. Going in the fourth, they're up by 7. Nebraska comes back and wins it. They score 10 in the fourth quarter and win the game. Okay. Nebraska has shown some real resilience. They've shown some real resilience. Maryland has shown they can go play with some of the best teams in the Big Ten, but they have not shown they can finish them off. Now, you got a young quarterback. What you got to do what you're doing is build off of what this kid's doing, what this team's doing, and get into the year and into the next seasons, you got to keep building on that and get better and better. I mean, they're 4-2. The 2 games they've lost, they were in the lead and lost both by 3, or 4 and then 3. They're intriguing. I mean, Alex Howard's over there in the video department. He's leading them to the best year that I've ever seen them have. Okay, Alex Howard. Don't forget that name. Okay. All right. Listen now. Here's the interesting part. Okay. Here's the interesting part. The final score is 34-31. Nebraska threw 3 interceptions. How many turnovers Maryland have? 0. 3 interceptions by old Raiola. All right. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns, though. I mean, now he's got to know this. You're not going to win a whole lot of games throwing 3 picks. But what is positive to see is that they can come back and go win the game even if they have that adversity. And they go down and then come back and win. That's great for them. Great for Raiola. Maryland's right there. Maryland's right there. Okay? Just quickly on this one, Air Force UNLV. Dan Mullen, the Cardiac Kids. Trademark. I'm trademarking it. Air Force is rolling on these boys. Let me do this. Let's go to this. Let's see. Yeah. So, I mean, Air Force had 603 total yards. UNLV had 597. UNLV threw for 377. Air Force rushed for 428. That's triple option coming right at you, dude. Okay? Air Force had 1 fumble. Had 1 turnover, had a fumble. All right? And it lost by 3. I mean, honestly, that's probably the difference in the game. Probably the difference in the game. Okay? Where is this? Anyway, they find a way to win when they shouldn't. Dan Mullen and the Cardiac Kids. Trademark. Okay. That's great. Now, one game I got to watch the very end of. So Navy is playing Temple. Navy is getting beat. Most of the game. They come back into the 4th quarter. They score with less than a minute left. 31-30. They go for 2. Throw it to Teska in the end zone. On a little speed to the flat route. On a play action. And hit him. He's wide open. He throws it. Catches it. Falls in. Touchdown. Or excuse me, 2-point conversion. And they win 32-31. Really, I mean, you know about the military academies. They're going to be resilient anyway. You got a lot of buddies and a lot of coaches who coach me on that staff. I got a lot of respect for that group. And to go for 2 in the last minute to stay undefeated. I mean, they're thinking they can maybe be the group of 5 if they can go undefeated, and they're looking it right in the eye on not being able to do it. And they do it. So awesome by them. Temple, Keeler is their head coach. Used to be at Sam Houston State, Kansas State. We played them in the playoffs my junior year, and we lost by 10. By 7. And we had chances to win. Didn't do it. Still hurts to this day. Okay, now a couple big ones in the Big Ten. A couple bigger ones in the Big Ten. All right, Ohio State, Illinois. Ohio State dominated. Now, Illinois goes and plays Indiana and gets skull dragged by the Hoosiers. Ohio State, beats Illinois. Ohio State beat Texas, who Texas was not really playing super well. Finally did this weekend. We'll talk about that one later. Ohio State, plays a couple, lesser teams. And then they play Washington, who ends up, they beat 24-6. Washington was a good team. They go to Rutgers and they start slow. I'm thinking, oh gosh, maybe Washington's not the team that I thought. And then they end up pulling away. So, and then Ohio State plays Illinois, and everybody's thinking, Illinois is not that good. Indiana just skull dragged them, whatever. Ohio State dominates them all game. Okay? They dominate them all game. They won by, 18? they were in the lead the whole game. All right. So Julian Sayin, 19 for 27, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He threw for 166, but still, I mean, he's throwing 8 incompletions in the game, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. That kid's a freshman, man. That kid's a freaking freshman. Okay. What else to say? What else do you say? All right. Altmaier, 30 for 44, 248, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I mean, he's out playing these older cats, but it's because he's just making the throws he needs to make, putting them on the money, and keeping drives going. That's all you can do. The biggest one in the Big Ten, game day was there. Indiana at Oregon, is what people say. Indiana can't do it. They can't beat the big teams. They can't win the big games. They beat everybody they're supposed to last year. They get in the big games, can't win them. Ohio State last year played Notre Dame in the playoff, can't do it. And you know, Curt Cignetti's got a little swag about it, got a little stuff in his neck, you know what I mean? So they go out to Eugene, Oregon, playing, you know, I guess it's probably noon their time. Eastern time, it's 3:30, whatever. And they go put on a show. Okay, they go and put on a show. Right? They led the entire game. Or basically the entire game. Super impressive. Super impressive by Indiana. All right, Fernando Mendoza throws I believe it's a pick 6. All right, but goes 20 for 31 for 215 yards. They had a receiver, Elijah Surratt, 8 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. You know, I think that defense played very well, and Oregon has been unstoppable so far this year. They played Penn State was close, but Oregon has been very dominant. Okay, so anyway, huge for Indiana. I mean, that was kind of a defining moment for Indiana. Are they going to be able to beat the big teams? And they did it. How are they going to keep it going? Let me see. I've looked at this before. I want to make sure I got this correct. Indiana still has to play. They play Michigan State next week. UCLA at home. Now UCLA's on the tear. Maryland. That's going to be a tougher game. They got to go to Maryland. Got to play Penn State. I know we're going to get into that before we go. Penn State's still going to be a tough game. They're at Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. So they got a chance to run the table and make the Big Ten championship and really make something shake. Okay. Ole Miss, Washington State. Didn't get to see a lot of it. Ole Miss, I saw highlights. Ole Miss almost gave it away. Almost did. Ranked top in the country, in the top 5 in the country, and almost gave it away. So, you know what? I was talked about it before. Even in the bad games, if you're able to still stay in it and come back and win the game, sometimes that says a lot about you. Okay? Sometimes it said a lot about you, and that's a huge game that they won because they were down. They were not looking too hot. Ended up winning the game. Texas A&M, I said it before, dominant. Florida, it was kind of neck and neck early. Get the second half. Texas A&M pulls away. Marcel Reed is a different cat from last year. He's getting better every single week he plays. And Texas A&M's defense is really good. Texas A&M they're probably the favorite to win the SEC right now, and for good reason. Oklahoma, Texas. John Mateer's back. He did not look the same. Threw 2 bad picks. I watched a good bit of that game. 2 bad picks. It's kind of like he's throwing it up, and I hadn't really seen him do that all year. And maybe it was because of the thumb. Maybe because he was trying to do something extra. I don't know. But he did not look the same. Arch Manning. Let's just read Arch Manning's stats. Arch Manning, 21 for 27, 166 yards and a touchdown. He hadn't had a game like that, at least from what I've seen up to this point. Wisner runs for 94 yards. I mean, on 22 carries. So, and then Texas defense shut Oklahoma down. Oklahoma's defense did not look as good as they've looked in the past. in Arch Manning. I mean, I think a lot of his Arch Manning and the offense did better. Wiseman, I think, has been in and out with injury. He's back. He's a huge part of the offense. So that's a big point for them. All right, it's a little easier as a quarterback if you got a little run game. You don't have to worry about passing all the time and not sitting on the pass. They got to worry about run and pass. Big for Texas. Can they keep this rolling as they go through an SEC gauntlet schedule? They got Kentucky next Saturday. Not easy. And they got Mississippi State. Not easy. At Mississippi State. They play Vandy, Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M. They've got a gauntlet, dude. How are they going to handle it? Can they win out through it? We'll see. Quickly, Texas Tech, Kansas. Texas Tech's dominant. They're a top 5 team, in my opinion. Kansas has an electric quarterback, an offense that can really do a lot. They held them to 17. Texas Tech can run the ball. Listen, I got to see at least a little bit of it. Texas Tech, you think, throw around the yard. They hand the ball in inside zone and gashing and hitting it for 50, 60 yards. Okay? Freaking getting after it. So, Texas Tech is going to be tough. LSU outlast South Carolina. LSU still only scores 20 points. I mean, you don't have to score 50 every time to win. But they scored 20. Now, South Carolina's you're not just going to roll by them. LSU needed to win the game, obviously, but offensively, and we'll just peek at this real quick. Offensively, Garrett Nussmeier, 20 for 33, 254. Those 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. You know, the team rushed for 168. They fumbled the ball twice. Lost 1, I guess. So they still got some work to do offensively. Their defense keeps them in games. They got to start scoring. If they want to go do something more, they got to start scoring some points. All right. Tennessee, Arkansas. Arkansas stayed right with Tennessee. Taylor Green is a really good player. Let's just look real quick at what he did. Yeah, 21 for 31, 256 passing, 2 touchdowns. I mean, the guy's good, okay? The guy's good, and they kept him in the game, and Tennessee scored a lot of points. They got to start holding teams a little bit more, a little bit less, I should say. Still like him. I still like Joey Aguilar. They show they can win these games even if they get to be a shootout. Mississippi State, Arkansas. It's happened twice. They lost the Georgia game, probably should have won it. They're probably sitting pretty. USC, Michigan. USC dominates Michigan. I was not expecting it. I really wasn't. Mayava, there at USC. Man, hold up. Mayava at USC, 25 for 32, 265, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, golly, man, they're good. I mean, that's really nice. He's been great all year. Rush for 224. Now that versus Michigan is surprising. That USC did it to Michigan. That shows you the growth that USC's making. USC plays Illinois on the road at 9 a.m. their time, 12 p.m. Illinois time, and they lose on a game-winning field goal. Then they go and play Michigan. Michigan goes to them, and they dominate. Great for USC and great for Lincoln Riley. BYU, Arizona. They go to 2 overtimes. And BYU beats Arizona. I picked Arizona. Griffin Dalton picked Arizona. Gosh dang it. BYU comes back and beats them 2 overtimes. BYU's tough to beat. They're disciplined. They know how to win games, okay? Know how to win games. Quarterback's named Bear, number 47. Utah, Arizona State. Utah dominates Arizona State. Now, Sam Leavitt did not play. Jeff Sims, who was playing for Arizona State at the quarterback, and it showed. Utah 42, Arizona State 10. Man, that's what we expect to see from Utah. That's what I expect to see from Utah every week, honestly. Can they keep it going? Iowa State drops another one. Drops Colorado. It's great for Colorado and Dion. Every game they played this year, I think, has been close. They just lost it late. This time, they win it late. They win 24-17 versus Iowa State. Huge for them. Huge for them. Florida State drops another one. I believe that's 3 in a row. 3 in a row for Florida State. Pitt wins 34-31. That's 3 ACC losses too. That ain't just 3 losses. That's 3 ACC losses. Virginia, Miami, Pitt. So it's probably safe to say, because you got Miami, you got Georgia Tech. And I mean, I think Clemson's got 2 losses in ACC also. So you got those 2 for sure, who are undefeated in the ACC. So I mean, I think Florida State's probably out of the ACC picture. How can they finish the season? How are they going to finish the season? Is Tommy Castellanos, is he going to go finish the season with a little bit of toughness, a little bit of, we're going to go finish the season strong, or are we going to just kind of sit back, let's go win 6 games and get a bowl game? Go finish the season strong. I hope they do. UCLA gets another win versus Michigan State. Michigan State looked promising, but UCLA and Nico Iamaleava said, forget that crap. We're here. We're here. We beat Penn State. We're awake. He threw 3 touchdowns. Nico did. Man, oh man. UCLA rushed for 238 yards. Golly, dude. Man. UCLA, what are they going to do now? What are they going to do now? All right. Cincinnati wins a tight one with UCF. Now, UCF, Scott Frost, they're playing a lot of these games pretty close. Cincinnati beats them 22-11. Cincinnati's on a roll. AP put them in the top 25 this week. We'll go through that quickly before we get out of here. All right. Penn State. Where's the sad music? Penn State loses 22-21 to Northwestern at home. At home. Lose to Oregon in overtime. At home. Go to UCLA. Lose. On the road. But still. Northwestern comes to them. Lose by 1. And then we're going to talk about it a little more later. James Franklin has been fired today. Sad. Oregon State loses their 7th in a row this season. They're 0-7. Oregon State head coach Trent Bray has been fired today. TCU, Kansas State. I picked TCU. Josh Hoover. You know what? Let me look at the stats. Kansas State is one of those teams I can't get a read on. I can't read them. I cannot do it because they look terrible one week and good, and I pick it wrong every single time. Josh Hoover, 26 for 47 for 376, threw for 376, but threw 2 picks. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. And he lost by 2 touchdowns. Great football player. They only ran for 72 yards. It's going to make it tough, guys. Make it tough. All right. Okay, let's get to some of these others here. Iowa dominates Wisconsin, 37-0. Listen, where's my man Fickle? I need my man Luke Fickle. Let's go, man. I love Coach Fickle. Let's get it rolling. Oh, here's a good one. Here's an interesting one. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Troy beats Texas State in overtime. I was high on Texas State at the beginning of the year. But Texas State is kind of going down. Troy is going up. They are trending upward. All right? As Coach Konchesky used to, or probably still says at Barry, the stock is rising for Troy. Okay? Huge win for them. And so there's that. Now, very surprising week in some ways in college football this weekend. Now, here's the great thing about college football. Last week happened, we start over, not on Wednesday, on Tuesday. Tuesday, okay? On Tuesday, October 14th, 3 games, 3 Conference USA games. New Mexico State at Liberty, Arkansas State at South Alabama. That's Sun Belt. That's Fun Belt, actually. And FIU at Western Kentucky. Oh, man. And then Wednesday, we got 2 games. Delaware at Jacksonville State. UTEP at Sam Houston. Now, that's all Conference USA. And then Thursday, obviously, we got Thursday, Tulsa, East Carolina. We got Friday games. We got all the good stuff, folks. I mean, we're starting on Wednesday. Okay? Tuesday. 3 games on Tuesday. That's freaking great, man. We're in the best time of year. All right? 49 days starting last Wednesday, straight of football, college and NFL. We're in the thick of it, folks. We're in the freaking thick of it. Okay. Now, let me see. Today alone, there have been 4 head coach firings, however you want to say it, up until this weekend. There have been 3 just today. Mentioned 2 of them. James Franklin, Penn State. After 3 straight losses, they said that's enough. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Trent Bray at Oregon State, 0-7. He's out. I think it's the second year he's been at Oregon State. UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. Trent Dilfer fired today. You know, they were better last year. This year they have looked very bad. Almost lost to Alabama State. Alabama State's a good FCS team, but almost lost to them. I've talked about this before. I don't love coach firings. I really don't like them. I've been a part of one before, not in the middle of the season, but I've been a part of one. It's kind of a helpless feeling, you know. I mean, as a head coach or assistant, I was an assistant. Kind of helpless. You just, you know, what do you do, right? So it's not fun. Now, here's my question to Penn State. Oregon State, I get it. UAB, I get it. Penn State, you were in the semifinals last season. Yes, this is a bad stretch, obviously. These last 3 games, a bad stretch. I get it. It's not been fun. Here's my question. Who are you going to hire next that does better? Who's it going to be? And they may have somebody in mind. They may have somebody lined up and it's going to work out great. I don't know that. They don't know that. Who are you going to get? That's always my question. If you're not losing every game, and he's been there for a while, and I know his record versus top teams is not very good. But if you have a coach who's done a pretty dang good job, has a bad stretch, who are you going to get to replace him? Are you going to get somebody as good to replace him? That's always my question. Because the grass is always greener on the other side. Who are you going to get to replace him? And then when you get somebody to replace him, are you going to give that person a chance to install what they want, their culture, all that good stuff? I think you have to. And I think Penn State has shown that they will do that. I mean, James Franklin had some success early on, so they had to just let it roll on to hope he's going to get better. Who are you going to hire next? Who's the next guy? Who's going to be the guy you bring in who's going to turn around and win those games now? Who's it going to be? That's it, folks. That's basically all I got. A super wild weekend of college football, and I loved it. It was great. I watched as much as I could, watch highlights, all that good stuff. Knock on wood. I'm not going to do it because Juke will start barking and growling. Knock on wood, I'm doing it right now. I think I'm pretty free this weekend. It might be a smooth weekend of watching ball. Maybe. Knock on some wood, though. Okay? And we get to watch a lot more. And games start on Tuesday. Lowe's one less week. One less day. Man. One less week. One less day. All right? Now, I appreciate you if you're listening. I really do. If you're listening through this 50 minutes, I appreciate it. I enjoy it a ton. I enjoy when you comment. I enjoy when you interact, and obviously when you watch. I'll post a little clip or two on TikTok when you react to those. I love that too. Interaction makes it fun for me. I hope it makes it fun for you also. On the next, the show in the middle of the week, on Wednesday, we may have a couple knuckleheads on the show again. I'll go through some of the comments that we've gotten from this past little week. And, we'll go through it all. If there are things that you want to see, if there are things that you think, man, this would be great, things we're doing that you don't like, things that maybe look great back here on the old backdrop, I got to work on it myself. But if there's something that you think would be great, let me know. If you've got something that you don't care about and you say that will look good, send it my way. Right? Send it my way. Okay? Listen, I appreciate you very much. I enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy it as much as I like to do it. I hope you enjoy listening to it. And I'll be back. We will be back in a few days to kind of talk about the games coming up this week. And what we'll do is we'll talk them through. We'll talk through some comments. Have some knuckleheads on the show possibly. And we'll have a great time, man. It'll be good. Listen, thank you for watching and listening. Go watch as much football this week as you possibly can. Comment, like, subscribe, rate, whatever you watch on. Give me the 5 stars or whatever stars, okay? And then let me know what you like and don't like. And we'll just make this thing better and better. And we'll take this thing to the top, okay? I love you all. God bless you. Have a great night. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon.